It's my privilege to preside over the awarding of degrees and honours at this ceremony, the University's Spring Conferrings. Hanc congratiationem universitas ad grades varios conferendos apertem esse dico. Adine Ushle, a Vic Lane, a Corda, Cade Mila Foyle to Riv Galer Goody Colossian Holscolle, Kirky. Graduates, families, friends and loved ones, colleagues, welcome to this very special celebration, our Spring Conferring at University College Cork. I want to particularly welcome our graduates, the class of 2021, whose magnificent achievement and hard work we're here to celebrate today. I want to particularly extend a welcome also to your friends and family and supporters joining with you and around you, wherever they are in the world, maybe in the room beside you, maybe somewhere across the world on this incredibly special day. Thank you for being with us. This is a time when friends and family gather with our graduates to recognise all that you have achieved. Today's graduates represent the wonderful diversity of our students, the community in which richness and diversity and their abundant educational and personal attributes. They include bachelor's, master's, postgraduate, doctoral students from all of the 4 colleges here at University College Cork. This is a joyous day for us. I must also acknowledge that today's ceremony is very different from the ceremony we would normally have on our beautiful campus. COVID-19 pandemic has meant we've had to postpone our typical on-campus spring graduation ceremonies this year in order to play our part in the collective effort to halt the spread of the virus and protect public health. I know how disappointing this is, and you know plans are being put aside for next summer, whatever that time would be, we're not sure, sometime between June and September, to mark your special day on our campus where we together can celebrate this great achievement with you and your family. As you know, normally on a day like this, the place of the campus is milling around, people with gowns, running, scurrying around into the De Vere Hall, banging of chairs. All of that joyous celebration is now in your home today. And there's something very special about that, being intimate with your family and friends. We wear our gowns to have a formal procession. And these rituals and traditions bring great meaning and create lasting memories for all of us, for you, for your families, and for us as your mentors and colleagues. While this graduation may differ from a traditional one, today is officially your graduation day, and it's a very important milestone that marks the culmination of many years of hard work, inquiry, discovery, learning, and we're here to celebrate. I hope that today gives you a chance to reflect on the time here at University College Cork, on the memories you have, and the friendships you've made during the time when you're on this journey together with us. It only seems like a short, maybe 1 year, 2 years, or 3 or 4 years since you came here on campus, but I'm sure it has passed incredibly fast. Getting to this moment is a result of extraordinary capacity of self-motivation, talent, and I want to offer my heartfelt congratulations. As a fellow alumnus, I want to say cogordicus, congratulations on this amazing achievement. The current pandemic has affected all of us, but it's come at a particularly formative time in your lives. No one could have predicted what a final year at University College Cork would have been like. We had hoped that the COVID would have passed at this point and we would have had a very different ceremony here today, but that was not to be. I think at any time to complete a degree is difficult. To complete a degree at this time is exceptionally difficult. But you have endured. You have persisted through tough times and achieved something truly remarkable. Your resilience, your hard work, your commitment have brought you to this moment today. Our people make University College Cork, our staff, our students and our alumni. Today we celebrate your success as an alumni, as a family. I would like to thank you for your contribution to University College Cork, through your inquiry, through your challenge, or perhaps through your contributions in clubs and societies and other activities, or by simply being you here on our campus. Graduates, you've made your own journey on many paths that you've had along up to this day, whether from Cork, Bangkok, Beijing, or Ballincollig. Some of you may never have imagined arriving at this point, ready to receive your degree for the first time, or a higher degree, or perhaps the greatest degree and highest award of all, the doctoral award. The uncertainty of life, challenges and surprising circumstances may have taken you on a meandering path where you had to choose your route carefully at each new turn and intersection. I would also like to thank my colleagues who have worked over the years with you here at University College Cork through very difficult circumstances, particularly in the last year. From the first person perhaps that you met at the gate on your way in, or in the Mardyke Arena, or wherever that might be. I want to thank all of those who work with me and with you on a daily basis at University College Cork. I particularly want to thank your academic mentors who have nurtured, encouraged and inspired you, and maybe every now and then pushed you to become the person that you are today. They've pushed you and helped you because they want you to reach your dreams. There are further dreams ahead for you, but we hope that this was really important launchpad as you embark on this wonderful journey. You know, you might think you've done this on your own. Of course you haven't. You couldn't possibly have reached this moment on your own. We rely on your family, your friends, and other people who have supported you to reach this moment and this amazing achievement. Perhaps parents, siblings, friends, or loved ones who've been there for you at the very challenging times perhaps and helped you through your studies. I want you now to take a moment, turn to them and say, thank you, Míle Bríochas, because their support is critical to your success. I also want to thank them on your behalf and on behalf of the university for all they've done for you to become wonderful graduates at UCC. Your support and encouragement during their studies has been an important part of their success. You must be extremely proud, as we are, of what they have achieved. So today, we celebrate the end of your studies at UCC. I know you might be sad by that, and maybe some of you will be coming back for further studies, particularly if you're at a doctoral level. But today's event also marks the beginning of a new journey. You're beginning that journey into an unknown. Perhaps you might be a bit nervous or apprehensive about it, but I'm not worried. I'm confident as a UCC alumnus myself that what you've learned here at UCC has equipped you for the world that's outside, a world that's challenging, a world of huge opportunity. Today, as you graduate from UCC, I encourage you to follow your dreams whatever that might be. As the class of 2021, you join an exceptional alumni across the world of in excess of 200,000 alumni. So let me welcome you to that alumni community. I am confident you will enhance their legacy. I am incredibly proud of you as president of UCC, and as someone as a student myself and alumnus, whatever the role I have in my life, actually I'm most passionate about being an alumnus at UCC. I want to wish you well in the next chapter, whatever that chapter is, as you set out on your journey and join the excess of that large cohort of UCC alumni. We want you to connect. We want you to reach out. We want you to stay connected, to enable us to stay connected with you and to support the university in the future. As you embark on the next phase, whether you remain in education, research, or in the world of work, I encourage you to use your knowledge well to make the world a better place. The world is challenged right now with climate crisis, infectious disease, and digital revolution, and the pace of change of work and life has accelerated enormously. And we must embrace these opportunities. The future is now, and you are ready for it as a UCC graduate. You are talented, and with talent comes responsibility. We want you to stand out as a UCC graduate, as articulated in our graduate attributes, to be independent thinkers, creators of knowledge, to be socially responsible and effective global citizens, capable of making a positive contribution to the world today. We want you to change the world to make it a better place. And I'm absolutely confident you have the ability, the capacity, and the experience here from UCC to enable that to happen. I also encourage you never to lose your desire for learning. I encourage you to continue in engaging in lifelong learning. So finally, it just remains for me to say a heartfelt congratulations. I want you to celebrate your achievement. I want to be proud, you to be proud. We are incredibly proud of you. I look forward to the day when we can come together in person to celebrate your graduation. Until then, good luck to each and every one of you. We are so proud of the class of 2021. You've accomplished great things and you're going to accomplish even more. Cur Gordicus, thank you. One of the great characteristics of our conferring sermons in recent years is having a guest speaker. And it's a huge honour for me to introduce one of our distinguished alumnus, Dr. Philip King. Philip is an acclaimed musician, producer, radio presenter, filmmaker, and founder of Other Voices Television and live music series. And he's our special guest this afternoon. Philip was born and grew up in Cork. He attended University College Cork between 1969 and 1972, and most recently was awarded an honorary doctorate in music in 2018. While studying at UCC, he immersed himself in college life, seeking out fellow musicians, connecting with great people like Sean O'Riordan and Leo Murlaha, playing music and studying. Philip's musical talent led him to become a founding member of the Irish band Scullion in the mid-1970s, probably more familiar to your parents than to you graduates today. He has recorded many albums and has also won acclaim as a songwriter. In 1987, Philip set up a television production company, Hummingbird Productions, with Nuala O'Connor, and began producing high-quality, acclaimed television series for series Bring It All Back Home, which won Primetime Emmy Award in 1991. The production in 2001 of Other Voices, Songs from a Room, a music series for RTÉ television, filmed in the beautiful church St James's in Dingle, County Kerry, broke new ground. Not only did it celebrate fresh and innovative Irish voices, it also served to highlight the potential for rural areas to be centres of cultural production and sites for creative industries. In 2020, he produced to great acclaim The Other Voices, Courage series, which featured artists performing a selection of iconic cultural and heritage locations around the country. The series has an amazing reach of 15.8 million viewers and viewed in 87 countries across the globe. On a weekly basis, Philip presents a show, South Wind Blows, from the RTÉ studios perched on the western tip of the Dingle Peninsula. Philip was appointed to the Special Committee to the Traditional Arts in December 2003, and he served in the Arts Council of Ireland. In recent years, Philip launched Ireland's Edge, which brings together high-level influencers and thinkers from a range of sectors, including members of diaspora, foreign direct investment companies, artists, academics, commentators, and policymakers. Philip believes that there's a world of opportunity waiting to be exploited in the intersection between the artistic and technological worlds. To quote Philip himself, Irish people are naturally imaginative, creative, and innovative. Bringing STEM and arts together to create STEAM will offer Ireland a comprehensive and competitive advantage. Irish people are recognised around the world for our creativity, and we need to build on that, the strong links that we have to all of those people across the world, and left to create something new which we can be all proud of. I'm delighted this afternoon to invite Dr. King to address you. Thank you.
Uachtaráin, a chahirirlig, a chéimethe is mór an an ordam sa bheith live an lá fear speisialta seo. President O'Halloran, Chairperson of the governing body, Dr. Catherine Day, distinguished guests. It was a great delight, President, to accept your kind invitation to give the spring conferring address in this most challenging of years, 2021, and to give it to the students graduating and being conferred today from the four constituent colleges of the university. The College of Arts, Celtic Studies and Social Sciences, the College of Business and Law, the College of Medicine and Health, and the College of Science, Engineering and Food Science. It's a real privilege and an honour to speak to all of you graduating today across such a range of disciplines, across the STEM subjects, science, technology, engineering, maths, and the arts and humanities. You're the generation that will own the future. Can I offer my sincere congratulations to you all on navigating successfully the very rocky road of COVID, and congratulate you also for your very hard work and your very great achievement recognised here today. My own expedition since I left UCC has been, in one way or another, the coagulation of some or all of these disciplines, involving tradition, translation, transmission, and all forms of encodement. I've gone from acoustically, with no microphones and no equipment, singing a song in the Aula Maxima to 50 people, to this year producing events that collapse distance at the height of COVID isolation with a reach of 46 million that offer hope, courage, and the mental strength to keep on keeping on. Everything I have done in my life could not and would not have happened without my time at UCC. It was a magical time. It was a time of innocence and wonder, and my experiences in UCC have left an indelible thumbprint on every aspect of my life. The first steps of my winding musical expedition were taken in UCC. The poet Walt Whitman has always been in my ear since I first read him in the library in UCC overlooking the quad. Be curious, not judgmental, he advised. And then in his wonderful Song of the Open Road, which is just so appropriate for your graduation day today. And listen to what Whitman says. Aloof and light-hearted, I take to the open road, healthy, free, the world before me, the long brown path before me, leading wherever I choose. Henceforth, I ask not good fortune, I myself am good fortune. Henceforth, I whimper no more, postpone no more, need nothing. Done with indoor complaints, libraries, querulous criticisms, strong and content, I travel the open road. Having been on that open road now for several decades, I sense that right now there is an ever greater need for a shared, common, and grounded sense of Ireland's story. A story you will carry with you wherever you go. What have we all learned in the last 100 years since independence? And what has been our real contribution and impact on ourselves and the world over the same period? The role that a STEAM agenda, the sciences, creativity, culture, and the arts working together can play in supporting Ireland's strategic positioning in a world that is paradoxically more connected than ever, yet increasingly divided and atomized, will be so important. It's a highly competitive, fast-moving world where technology is increasingly dominant. We are a small country, yet we manage to remain relevant and influential in so many areas. Through my work as an artist and producer, I've been able to build relationships with individuals, companies with global footprints who identify Ireland's creativity as one of its most important competitive edges. This is because creativity is a complex bundle of many things. And those of us who work in this world understand exactly what that means. We live with very high levels of uncertainty and access to relatively limited and sporadic resources. We're gig economy veterans. We understand the concept of job security, but it doesn't really apply to us. We are resourceful, agile, adaptable, opportunistic. We need to be good at making a little go a long way. We need to be expert at finding creative approaches to solving problems. We need to understand collaboration and cooperation. We embrace diversity. We challenge, we fail, we excel, but we are motivated to keep on keeping on. One of the most important things that we do is that we create new things, new intellectual property, new ways of seeing and thinking and doing. My view is that there is now a significant convergence between what creativity and the arts and the sciences can offer and what Ireland needs to add muscle to its strategic positioning and its approaches to areas as diverse as health, diplomacy, trade, education, FDI, GDPR, etc. We in this new creative community embody the values which the rest of indigenous exporting services and product industries must emulate. Authenticity, excellence, creativity, inclusiveness, differentiation, a unique contribution that is recognized and valued around the world. Many say that given the state of the world right now, we are looking at the end of liberal democracy. We can't deny the pernicious influences at play. Say, for example, in the case of Brexit and the turbulent and destabilising events in the United States over the last while. We can no longer take democracy as we have known it for granted. If we are to continue to have the sort of open, free and fair election process that we have, and remain an open democracy 100 years after independence, we must begin to regulate those companies and platforms that would seek to undermine our hugely valuable and very hard fought for democratic process. We also certainly know that the old order of Homo sapiens is being reordered by artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and augmented reality. You know this very well. The machines are going to do things that we humans used to do, so it stands to reason that anything that cannot be automated will become very valuable. For instance, in an era of rapid technology development, how will we create human-centric approaches in future innovations that enhance the human experience and wider society? In this new order, we need a new and appropriate narrative. Everybody recognises that the twin pillars of tax and talent that underpin our FDI, foreign direct investment strategy, are shifting. We must create the conditions where we grow, own, and monetize our own intellectual property if we are to have a wealth proposition that will sustain us as we navigate the difficult and challenging road ahead. Our universities must be funded adequately with a view to holding the value of all of those ideas, all of that research created by brilliant students and wonderful researchers. It's really important these days, when authenticity is such a powerful motivator of people's choices and decisions, that we tell our story using a narrative that is authentic and credible, and not led by marketeers, but using marketing insightfully to reflect a more accurate picture and sound of Ireland. The idea here is to use these uniquely significant opportunities to design a new and better approach that more accurately reflects the attractive complexity of Ireland, the advantages of doing business with Ireland, and the confidence to be Irish wherever you are in the world. So, as you begin the next leg of your journey, can I offer you every best wish for a joyful journey as you head out on the road ahead. You are equipped for that road with the gift of great education, with the gift of the great natural resource of imagination. This complex world will need your energy, your ambition, your imagination, and we will need those things to address the existential issues of today: climate, political turmoil, to create enriching options for a challenged society. You will be the change agents, the generation of graduates that will refresh, reform, and reorder Ireland as it enters the first decade of a new century of independence. Good night, live.
Dr. King, thank you so much for your good wishes and words of encouragement for our students on their very special. I now call on the Head of College of Science, Engineering and Food Science, Nunc ad voco Principem Collegium Scientiae Artis Ingenieriae et Scientiae Sibariae.
Thank you, Interim President. My name is Professor Sarah Kulsey. I'm Head of the College of Science, Engineering and Food Science, and I'm delighted to be able to share this very special occasion with you all. Unfortunately, we cannot be together at such a special time. We are very much, though, celebrating with you here on campus, and I want to assure you that we are all in the college thinking of you and celebrating with you on this very special day. It is now my great honour to present you to the interim president and attest that you are fitting in character and learning to be conferred. Pre honorables pro vice cancelaria pro tempore totaque universitas presento vobis hanc nostrae universitas progenium quam sio tam moribus quam doctrina habilum et idonium esse que admentator ad hos honores insigniacie, idque tibi fide mea tester expondeo totique academiae.
Ego autoritate mihi concessa admitto hanc nostrae universitas progenium ad hos honores insigniaque.
And we begin with the Master of Engineering Science in Civil Engineering, Lucy Mary Quirk. We now move on to the Master of Engineering Science, Electrical and Electronic Engineering by Research Thesis, Philip Charles Desmond. Owen Eric Walsh. We now move on to the Master of Engineering Science, Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Piepshik Alban Julian. Dibajit Banerjee. Sawarj Sunil Chavan. Shu Shen Dai. Sunny Kriplani. Alan Paul Power. Julie Rolla. Sanjina Shrikant Kastur. Hemalata Shiva. Karthik Sood. Vinay Kumar Virma. Shifu Zhu. And we now move on to the Master of Engineering Science, Mechanical Engineering, Manufacturing, Process and Automation Systems. Alim Muhammad. Mood Alamuzaman. Abin Francis. Rishap Jan. Jack Bartholomew Kenny. Fionn Lydon. Stephen Morris O'Brien. Hugh O'Donnell. Aidan O'Sullivan. Rohan Shivarao Pavar. Rikshit Mohan Kumar. We now move on to the Master of Engineering Science in Sustainable Energy. Rory Kalnan. Anga Awanke Hakula. Lucas Lorenzen. John Justin McCarthy. Niall Anthony O'Leary. Sudansh Reddy Singareddy. And we now move on to the Master of Science, Aaron Michael Dixon. We now move on to the Master of Science in an Analysis of Pharmaceutical Compounds, Luke Joseph Mulligan. Our next group is the MSc in Analytical Chemistry, Aideen Byrne. Conor Madden. Múrica Kathleen ní Donncha. Seamus Morris O'Callaghan. Sarah Kate Walsh. And we now move on to the MSc in Food Microbiology. Anala Golpur Krishna Bhatt. Mariawada Bohara. Ming Yang Kui. Niranyana Rose Edwin. Gagangunya Balhar Krishna Hedawari. Jane Lavin. Mathilde Mularczyk. Uren Navarro Ucles. Caroline Rose Schubert. Meguna Srinivas. Shatin Rai Surana. Ping Tang. Marie Frances Young. Mingshu Zhao. Yu-A Zhao. And we now move on to the MSc in Food Science and Technology. Ryan Garrett Hazlitt. Our next group is the MSc in Food Science. Min Kian Kai. Fiona Perpetual Andrew Fernando. Neve Etna Gowan. Nancy Wetera Karaoke. Nicola Landberg Lynch. Shannon Mayock. Janet Rishma Miranda. Ciara O'Connell. James Charles Pope. Konstantinos Theodosiasis Ulu Tag. And we now move on to the MSc in Marine Biology. Caitlin Sarah Bartleson. David Richard Burke. Stephanie Elizabeth Corkery. Leanne Christine Costello. Madeline Franks Dance. Neil Manoj Dubé. Dominique Marie Gillin. Rory John Hand. Valerie Teresa Hickey. Grania Teresa Kyo. Phelan Cullum Linan. Chloe Louise O'Mahony. Charlene Peters. Owen Underwood. Jane Elizabeth Walsh. Sarah Charlotte Wren. Éana Nachtáin ó Cahasig. And we now move on to the MSc in Technology Management. John Martin Hughes. Keith O'Brien. Stefan Peretti. Carl Scanlon. And it's now my great pleasure to move on to our highest awards, the PhD. PhD in Engineering. Dr. Alicia Elia, for a thesis entitled Quantifying the Impact of Energy Technology Innovation on Cost Reductions, supervised by Professor Brian O'Gallagher and Dr. Fionn Rogan. Dr. Fergal Martin Lawler, for a thesis entitled Sustainability Analysis of Biopharmaceuticals Manufacturing, supervised by Professor Edmund Byrne, Dr. John Fitzpatrick, and Dr. Colin Sage. Dr. Gioeli Mirabelli, for a thesis entitled Two-Dimensional Semiconductors for Future Electronics, supervised by Dr. Ray Duffy, Professor Paul Hurley, and Dr. Scott Monaghan. And we now move on to the PhD in Engineering Science. Dr. Amandeep Kaur, for a thesis entitled Terabits Superchannels for Optical Communications, supervised by Dr. Fatima Gunning. Dr. Ian Seymour, for a thesis entitled Nanowire and Microband Arrays for Enhanced Electrochemical Sensing, supervised by Dr. Alan O'Riordan and Dr. James Roja. We now move on to the PhD in Food Science and Technology. Dr. Dara May Hill, for a thesis entitled Identification and Characterization of Lactic Acid Bacterial Secondary Metabolites with Functional and Health Benefits, supervised by Professor Elke Arendt, Professor Paul Ross, and Professor Catherine Stanton. Dr. Ashwini Shavade, Development of fortified blended food and the effect of selected parameters on its composition and functionality, supervised by Professor Nora O'Brien, Dr. Tom O'Connor, and Professor Tim Guiney. And we now move on to the PhDs in Science. Dr. Preeti Balaji, for a thesis entitled Characterization and Monitoring of Forest Disturbances in Ireland using Active Microwave Satellite Platforms, supervised by Dr. Fiona Cawkwell and Dr. Ned Dwyer. Dr. Russell Allen Banta, for a thesis entitled Development of Biopolymeric Patterned Tin Films, supervised by Dr. Owen Flynn, Professor Justin Holmes, and Dr. Paul Young. Dr. Dara Buckley, for a thesis entitled Characterization of Solution Processed Zinc Oxide Quasi-Superlattices Materials for Thin Film Applications, supervised by Professor Colm O'Dwyer. Dr. Maureen Fayerson, for a thesis entitled Characterization of Beer Spoiling Lactobacillus brevis and their associated bacteriophages, supervised by Dr. Jennifer Mahoney, Professor Dowa van Sinderen, and Dr. Tig O'Sullivan. Dr. Michael Noel Kennedy, for a thesis entitled Monolayer Doping of Bulk and Thin Body Group 4 Semiconductors, supervised by Dr. Ray Duffy, Professor Justin Holmes, and Dr. Brenda Long. Dr. Ryan David Crushell for a thesis entitled Synthesis and Evaluation of quinoline 5,8-diones and isoquinoline 5,8-diones as anti-cancer agents, supervised by Dr. Florence McCarthy. Dr. Katrina Mackey for a thesis entitled Palladium and Manganese Catalysis in CH Activation, supervised by Dr. Gerard McLachlan. Dr. Pamela Mackey for a thesis entitled Studies in Asymmetric Synthesis. 1. The asymmetric alpha alkylation of NN dimethyl hydrozones. 2. The asymmetric aldol Tishenko reaction of S-tert butane sulfene imines for the introduction of 2, 3, 4, and 5 new chiral centres in one pot, supervised by Dr. Gerard McLachlan. Dr. Alison Hazel Perrott for a thesis entitled Mutually Coupled Lasers on a Photonic Integrated Circuit, supervised by Professor Frank Peters. Dr. Emily Maria Power for a thesis entitled Host Genetics and Epigenomics of Inflammatory Bowel Disease, supervised by Dr. Marcus Klassen and Dr. Jordana Bell. Dr. Kiva Robinson for a thesis entitled Development of On-Farm Diagnostic Devices, supervised by Dr. Alan O'Riordan, Dr. Rena Sayers, and Dr. Emer Kennedy. Dr. Julia Sampson for a thesis entitled Investigating the Association between Long Non-Coding RNAs and Ductal Carcinoma in Situ, supervised by Dr. Kelly Dean and Professor Rosemary O'Connor. Dr. Ivan Sugru for a thesis entitled An Investigation into Novel Bacteriocin Producers Isolated for Shelf Life Extension of Dairy Products, supervised by Professor Elke Arendt, Professor Colin Hill, and Professor Catherine Stanton. Many, many congratulations on your graduation. I know this is the culmination of much hard work, and I want to thank you for your commitment and your dedication while you've been here in the college with us. I hope your time studying with us has been enjoyable and rewarding and has been a special time in your education and in your career. Throughout the college, we are celebrating and thinking of you today and celebrating your success. I want to thank all the staff of the college for their continued hard work and their dedication to you, our students, and I'm hoping that you will have the opportunity to celebrate your magnificent achievement with family and friends. I wish you every success. We're incredibly proud of our alumni, so please stay in touch. Let us know what you're doing. You will always have a home here at UCC. Many congratulations.
It's been an honour to confer you, and once again I congratulate you on this amazing achievement. I will now draw this afternoon ceremony, the formal part of your conferring celebration, to a close. Hanc congrationem universitas ad grades verios conferendos nunc finitum esse dico.